as war matures, it gets more technological, and you get farther and farther away from consequence.
Coming up on Showbiz This Weekend with Bill Tush, Denzel Washington and Meg Ryan find their courage under fire in a new film about the Persian Gulf War. Talk show host Rosie O'Donnell reveals her mission with Harriet the Spy. And abracadabra, Las Vegas has come up with a new way to pull an audience out of a hat.
Showbiz This Weekend at Rye Playland in New York. It's our annual visit to this historic landmark in Rye, New York, of all places. And, of course, if you haven't seen this place in person, I'll bet you've seen it in movies or on television. I'll tell you where you've seen it. Tom Hanks did Big here on this very boardwalk. And most recently, Mariah Carey did her fantasy video on this boardwalk. You know that song? Now what? Magic of television. You'll see her do it. Fantasy. Sweet, sweet, sweet fantasy. See, same thing. Here we are, right here. Okay. Now we're going to go into Rye Playland and have some fun in just a minute. But before we do that, Courage Under Fire. New movie starring Meg Ryan and Denzel Washington. And it's the first big studio movie about the Persian Gulf War. And the whole thing looks at whether this woman, played by Meg Ryan, deserves the Medal of Honor. And we're going to find out about that now, about that movie from Paul Verkammen. And then into Rye Playland. Sweet, sweet fantasy. She also rollerbladed on this boardwalk. Now, I want you to look down there, Rick. Look down there. Now, you'd kind of bump around a lot if you were a roller. It'd be more like, sweet, sweet fantasy.
Let's kill them all, boys.
Courage Under Fire is a story of death and bravery, a mystery buried in the Gulf War sand and some soldiers' hearts.
What happened out there, Sergeant?
You don't want to know what happened out there, sir.
Yes, I do.
Shooting the film was a survival test for Lou Diamond Phillips, Meg Ryan, and star Denzel Washington as a tank commander.
The explosions were getting closer and closer to the tank. And one time we went through and it was a fireball as we were rolling through. And I'm like, I know the camera's on me. I'm just, hey! And trying to stay there, but came up a little short of hair.
And cut! Director Edward Zwick exposed his troops to the elements to make the scenes more realistic.
Every little bit that you surround an actor with is going to enhance his performance.
And Zwick scouts found desert terrain to simulate Iraq. Some of the very best show business wizardry involves picking the right real estate. Location, location, location. You can't go off to the desert in Iraq to shoot a war movie, but you can set up shop here in Texas. When we caught up with Phillips and Ryan in this desolate canyon, they embodied war as hell.
I think a lot of people think that making movies is glamorous, but if it's 20 degrees outside, it's 20 degrees outside, and if the wind is blowing, it's kicking up real dust, and, you're doing all this acting, so to speak, under real conditions, and, you get sick, and you get tired, and you get worn out, but, you still have to keep on plugging because you have to make your day.
Go! 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 Now, I have a femur problem here. And some kind of internal injury that may or may not be fatal, depending on which version you're in. It's very confusing. I play a helicopter pilot who is being investigated posthumously for a Medal of Honor.
Washington, as Colonel Nathaniel Serling, probes the Medal of Honor possibility, but he's caught up in his own firestorm of controversy.
Hey, you just let up a friendly.
I heard you. What?
In this case, it was an accident. But this guy is moving up, and then boom. And now what? Everything that he is, everything that he knows, everything that he wants to be is based around the Army.
It's an explosive mixture in Courage Under Fire, actors enduring battle conditions in a harrowing search for the truth. Paul Verkammen, CNN Entertainment News.
Oh. I'm not going anywhere here in Rye until I get this tattoo. Oh, this is Liz. How long have you been doing it? How long is this going to take?
That's much longer.
Rosie O'Donnell, she's got that talk show out now. You ever watch Rosie's talk show?
Good morning.
Oh. Anyway, she's doing so well at that show, she told me she's not going to do any more movies. Did you know that?
Haven't heard that yet.
But anyway, she did one movie before the talk show. It's called Harriet the Spy. And she's going to tell Sherry Dean about that. You want to watch that? Be gentle, please. Please, please be gentle.
I am a spy. good life.
She is your typical sixth-grade spy, carrying binoculars, observing the world around her, and scribbling every detail she observes into her private spy notebook. She is Harriet the Spy of the 60s children's novel, now a live-action feature film.
Do spies have high-pressure jobs? Only when they're caught. I'm never caught.
Michelle Trachtenberg, who at 11 already has a recurring role on All My Children, is Harriet.
When I was little, I used to spy on my neighbors and my friends. Interesting things.
You are the title character, the star of this film. Is that a little nerve-wracking to you?
No, it's not. You know, I think of it just another character that's more in the movie than other characters.
Trachtenberg says Harriet the Spy was her favorite book before she even knew a movie was being made.
Harriet?
Rosie O'Donnell, who co-stars as Harriet's confidant and nanny, Golly, says she also has always loved the book.
When I was a kid, I read it, so I, of course, fancied myself a young Harriet. When they did call and say to me, would I be interested, I knew right away that it had to be Golly, and that it was a great role. Everybody wanted a Golly in their life. Good friends are one of life's blessings. Don't give them up without a fight.
O'Donnell says Harriet the Spy will be one of the few movies she'll be making at this point in her life because she doesn't want to spend so much time away from her one-year-old adopted son. But her new talk show, now a huge hit, fits in on her mommy track nicely.
I took that job in order to allow me to be a hands-on parent because during the filming of Harriet the Spy, I never got to see my son. I saw him about an hour a day, and I wanted a more consistent, stable type existence for him.
But don't think Rosie didn't enjoy making Harriet the Spy.
I loved working with the kids. We got to have cherry pit fights, and we'd spray Coca-Cola at each other, and, you know, the wardrobe lady didn't like us that much.
Today's question is, what wouldn't you eat for $1 million?
Bratwurst.
What? Camel boogers, fried roadkill, and my dad.
Harriet the Spy marks the first movie to be produced by the children's cable network, Nickelodeon. Sherry Dean, CNN Entertainment News, New York.
Still to come, the aliens from Independence Day are taking over. We'll tell you all about their latest technological conquest. And the Neon City takes a gamble on smoke and mirrors.
Showbiz This Weekend brought to you by Carrier. For affordable, energy-efficient comfort systems, call your local Carrier dealer today. Carrier, we're the inside guys.
They were robbed. No. Don't let this happen to you.
All that money?
Robbed blind by an energy thief. Protect yourself with the Weather Maker from Carrier, the world's leading brand. It's the most energy-efficient air conditioner around. It'll save you up to 60% on your cooling costs.
60%? Wow.
Hey, the Mitchells are getting new gutters.
Call your Carrier dealer. It'd be a crime to call anyone else.
We've been talking about this transfer for 6 months.
Yeah, now they want me yesterday.
So where do we find someone who knows how to get this house sold fast?
Call the Prudential Real Estate Affiliates today to find out how you can save money moving your belongings.
TCB White Tree. This calls for a celebration. TCB White Tree. It's time to celebrate.
Now your TCBY store is becoming a TCBY treat store with all your favorite frozen yogurt, all kinds of frozen treats, and now ice cream.
TCBY Treat. This calls for a celebration. TCBY Treat. It's time to celebrate.
AT&T and MCI and Sprint have chosen to bill you for your residential service in 1-minute increments. You use 2 minutes and 12 seconds, they charge you for 3. We don't do that at LCI. LCI charges in 6-second increments. Pick up the phone right now. Call us. Save yourself money.
Call now and switch your home long distance to LCI International, and you'll receive up to a $75 value in long distance services.
At LCI, you get what you pay for.
We think we have enough for a down payment.
Now we need an agent to show us what we can afford.
Call the Prudential Real Estate Affiliates today and get your free Living Home magazine on CD-ROM.
York. As Rye Playland is here in Rye, New York, so is the Dragon Coaster. It was built when the park was built in 1928. The Dragon Coaster to this day remains one of the top roller coasters in the country, and believe it or not, back in 1928, because it rode on tracks, they called it the Scenic Railway. People from far away would come to ride the, what?
Excuse me, sir, could you tell me where the Dragon Coaster is? Aren't you listing the Dragon Coaster?
There, punk. The Dragon Coaster.
Sorry, all apologies.
All right, anyway, Independence Day. Sure, you've heard a lot about that. We've all been talking about it. Big movie. Well, now, you want to know how it's made? There's a CD-ROM from Fox called Inside ID4. And here's the technical wizard of all times, Dennis Michael, to tell us all about it. That was really, I was just kidding. These are professional actors, friends. I didn't really insult them, did I?
Time's up.
If you've seen Independence Day, and who hasn't, you know how important Jeff Goldblum's Mac laptop is to the story. If you want to learn more about the story and the making of this blockbuster, all that information is about to come to your fingertips on a new CD-ROM, Inside Independence Day. ID4's writer and producer Dean Devlin is no stranger to the CD-ROM. He and director Roland Emmerich made one previously for Stargate.
You can start at a storyboard, take that to production stills, take that to the script, take that to the final scene of the movie. Or you can take another path. So whatever aspect of the filmmaking process that you're interested in, you can directly access that and then explore from there.
Maybe you don't care about film production, you just want to blast those aliens. Well, have a little patience. Shortly behind Inside Independence Day in the pipeline is Independence Day the Game, a user-friendly kind of flight simulator program that'll pit your flying skills against deadly fighters and powerful city destroyers. The Independence Day game will be available later this year, not only for Windows 95 CD-ROM, but also Sony PlayStation and Sega Saturn. Soon you, too, will be able to fight back. I'm Dennis Michael with the Tech Guy.
I'll tell you what I like about Rye. Well, I like everything about this place. But, you know, you can take a break and catch the show with the Rye singers and dancers. And here they are, the Rye Playland singers and dancers, just two of them. This is Heather Harris, who is 21 years old today.
Yep.
From Cedar Rapids, Iowa.
Mm-hmm.
And David Wegehoff from Clinton, Iowa. And the rest of the Playland singers and dancers are back there. And how do you guys get from Iowa to here?
Well, actually, we were...
Why do I feel like Dick Clark?
I think it's a sequence. We were brought in by an entertainment company to Playland because I guess of the need for entertainment here. And I guess they needed men and women that could sing and dance.
And here you are.
And here we are.
Here you are. So do you do this all summer and you live here in New York?
Yeah, we're here till about September 5th. We go back. We perform 6 days a week. We have Mondays off. 4 or 5 shows a day. We do a country show and a New York painting.
So what do you do? Like you get 1 day off a week. What do you do?
Actually, we've seen a couple of really great shows. One day we actually came down to the park. They had some great 50s and 60s bands come in, and we just came back to work, actually, and watched the bands all day. It was fun.
So you're having a good time.
We're having a wonderful time.
What do you do when you go back home?
Go to school. We still have school for a while.
And you go back to school, too? And what do the rest of the Playland dancers do? They can't hear me back there. All right, anyway, thanks, guys. Thanks for your time. It's fun to see. They really do a nice show. And I do. I feel like Dick Clark sitting here. Now we're going to rate the record and come back on American Bandstand. Stay with me. No, actually, the Hollywood Bowl is 75 years old. That is exactly 54 years older than Heather, right? Is that right? I don't know. Anyway, Sherry Sylvester is going to talk to some folks that have been around the Hollywood Bowl forever. And maybe one day you guys will be there. Wouldn't that be fun? You ever hear of the Hollywood Bowl?
No. Yes.
No. No.
I'll say it.
And this, Mr. Ballard, is the Hollywood Bowl.
You mean to say that a person singing on that stage way down there can be heard all the way up here?
When Dick Powell and Rosemary Lane came to the bowl for the 1937 film Hollywood Hotel, it was already famous. Famous for the music and for the celebrities in the crowd. Here, Spencer Tracy makes the introductions at a pageant for China War Relief.
Miss Mary Pickford, Miss Marlena Dietrich,
and Miss Irene Dunn, Miss Barbara Stanwyck, and Miss Shirley Temple.
FDR spoke here, so did Ike. The Beatles played the bowl, and a 26-year-old Zubin Mehta conducted the L.A. Philharmonic.
There are just places that are magic, and this is a magic place. And anybody who walks into the space just goes, wow.
John Maucheri is the principal conductor these days.
Everybody's come here in 75 years. It's always been a non-snob kind of place. So you've had the Beatles here, and you've had Heifetz.
Frank Sinatra, Dinah Shore, and Bing Crosby sang together.
This is Audrey Hepburn and her then-husband Mel Ferrer sitting in a box watching a concert at the Hollywood Bowl.
As part of the celebration, the Edmund D. Edelman Museum has been built to house the bowl's history. Danny Kaye peeking through the back of the shell. Hopalong Cassidy arriving on a horse. The magic of the Hollywood Bowl has also been preserved on video. Gene Kelly and Frank Sinatra sneak in during Anchors Away. Janet Gaynor and Frederick March meet here in A Star Is Born. And The Doors live at the Hollywood Bowl lives on in home video. Sherry Sylvester, CNN Entertainment News, Hollywood. Still to come, Brad Pitt has a barrel of fun in 12 Monkeys, while Anthony Hopkins brings Nixon to the video store. And watch out, Siegfried and Roy, there's some new competition in Vegas these days.
Celebrity Birthday is brought to you by Prudential Real Estate Affiliates. The Rock is the answer.
It's pretty obvious. We have to move.
So how do we find out how much our house is worth?
Call the Prudential Real Estate Affiliates today and get your free copy of the PRS Easy Moves magazine.
AT&T and MCI and Sprint have chosen to bill you for your residential service in 1-minute increments. You use 2 minutes and 12 seconds, they charge you for 3. We don't do that at LCI. LCI charges in 6-second increments. Pick up the phone right now. Call us. Save yourself money.
Call now and switch your home long distance to LCI International, and you'll receive up to a $75 value in long distance services.
At LCI, you get what you pay for.
It's out there for AT&T customers, an irresistible charter offer. More movies and sports than you can imagine, and the service and support of AT&T. AT&T presents digital satellite television from DirecTV. Up to 175 channels beamed right to your home. Just one call to 1-800-985-9200 brings it all to you. The latest equipment at the special price of $4.99 after rebate plus installation. With flexible payment options for AT&T customers. All you do is sit back and enjoy. Up to 55 pay-per-view movie choices every night. And some of the widest sports coverage in America. Special events and more. Call now and receive this AT&T special bonus worth over $150. One pay-per-view movie every week for a full 52 weeks free. Just one call to 1-800-985-9200 and you'll see, not even the sky's the limit. That's your true choice. AT&T.
Today on Style with Elsa Clench. Ankle length and ready to wear with no two pieces the same. Paris designer Claude Montana has gone back to his roots with couture leather for fall. Today, 10:30 Eastern on CNN.
What would a visit to Rye Playland be without a visit to the old fried dough shop, huh? Fried dough. That's Sandra. She's from the Bronx, and Tanika's over there. Tanika, let's see some fried dough. We're going to do a before and after thing. You ready for this? Tanika, let's see some fried dough. Before. Come on, Tanika, let's go. Yeah, let's see. Hold it up there. This is fried dough before. Okay, now, after our home video preview with Dennis Michael, who's going to tell us about Nixon and 12 Monkeys coming to a video store near you, we're going to see what fried dough looks like afterwards. Oh, man, the Food Channel's got nothing on us, I'll tell you that.
Is there something else that's bothering you, Mr. President?
Yes. It involves some old and forgotten papers, things I signed as vice president.
It probably wouldn't serve very well as a history text, but it does make a heck of a picture. Nixon features the remarkable Sir Anthony Hopkins in the role of America's most controversial president, given the hallucinatory Oliver Stone treatment and a spectacular supporting cast. The movie earned 5 Oscar nominations, but no Oscars. Nixon is gone, but the controversy lives on.
I was right! They're here! 12 months. Wait, here. Here, do you see it? You see?
Monty Python alumnus Terry Gilliam has never made an ordinary movie, but this latest offering, 12 Monkeys, is something of a disappointment. Bruce Willis is sent back from a disease-racked future to find the source of a virus that banished mankind from the surface of the earth. 12 Monkeys is a startling visual experience. The story is not strong enough to keep up with the pictures. Brad Pitt does transcend his world's sexiest man image playing the madman, and Madeline Stowe gamely struggles to stay with the strangeness. See you at the rental counter. Dennis Michael, CNN Entertainment News, Hollywood.
I know that. And there it is, fried dough, but no, it's not quite finished yet, is it, Tanika? It's finished? That's what it looks like? What's that going to cost me, $2? Oh, with powdered sugar. Oops, I stepped on the camera guy. Sorry, Rick. Where's the fried dough? This is good. This is very good for your arteries and any kind of health regimen you may be on. It's very good to start every day with some fried dough. And we're going to take a break and come back here to Rye Playland and see some more stuff.
They were robbed. No. Don't let this happen to you.
All that money?
Robbed blind by an energy thief. Protect yourself with the Weathermaker from Carrier, the world's leading brand. It's the most energy-efficient air conditioner around. It'll save you up to 60% on your cooling costs.
60%? Wow.
Hey, the Mitchells are getting new gutters.
Call your Carrier dealer. It'd be a crime to call anyone else.
The runners are getting ready. Wir warten auf den Startschluss. 各選手がスタート位置につきました。
Състезателите се подготвят за старта.
Spallinata rapida. È una partenza veloce. Su Edwin, via Coquela. Edward se está sacando ventaja, él es el favorito.
Може би ще има нов олимпийски рекорд?
Jackson's pulling away.
From the Arctic to Zimbabwe, the world will witness the drama of the 1996 Olympic Games through the eyes of Panasonic digital technology. And for a few brief moments, 3.5 billion hearts will beat as one. Panasonic, we're more than a sponsor. We're part of the team.
One of the most popular and certainly one of the oldest attractions here at Rye Playland is the Old Mill. A lot of people call it the Tunnel of Love. Anyway, I met Jane here at the park today. It's my lucky day. Hi, Jane. Doing all right? Okay. We're going to check this thing out, and while we ride through here, the folks at home are going to watch a story about Las Vegas. You know, there's a lot of magic shows in Vegas these days. A lot of magic. Yeah, we're going to find out about it from Ron Tank. Speaking of magic, hey, show you my tattoo?
Whether it takes place on a big stage or seemingly right before your eyes, there's magic in the air. 70 years after Houdini thrilled audiences on 2 continents, the art of making something appear and just as quickly disappear has again become big business.
Right now we are in the second golden age of magic in this century, especially here in Las Vegas.
This, of course, is the city with Siegfried and Roy's White Tigers, with Melinda, one of just a few female magicians, Broadway's Michael Crawford and his magical show FX, and Lance Burton.
Well, it's kind of embarrassing, but, you know, It's a big honor.
Burton is talking about the huge theater built just for him in the new Monte Carlo Hotel. If you need further proof that magic is no gamble here, Burton's multi-million-dollar contract runs for the next 13 years.
Our whole society is coming back around to, the whole family values issue, and people are looking for entertainment that the whole family can enjoy.
That notion hasn't been lost on television programmers. In just the past 3 months, ABC has given us Champions of Magic, Fox featured Robert Gallup's Extreme Magic, and NBC aired Hidden Secrets of Magic. Disney's Night of Magic starred the Pendragons on the Disney Channel, and David Copperfield, whose last CBS special included making a railroad car disappear, will open a magic-themed restaurant in New York's Times Square in December.
Our feast begins, as it did in the Emperor's time, with the seating incantation.
Caesar's Palace in Las Vegas is serving food and fantasy at its just-opened Magical Empire.
Most of Las Vegas magic up to now has been the spectacular shows and Big Illusionists.
Milt Larson showed us around the Caesars attraction he helped create. Larson's private club in Hollywood, the Magic Castle, is a shrine to magicians. He says he wanted a similar intimacy in Las Vegas.
Now in Vegas, this is their idea of intimate. It's only 10 stories high in this room. But
there are other rooms where magic can be watched close up by anyone.
Doesn't matter what language you speak, everyone can understand, when the car disappears or the bird appears.
Call it the language of magic. It's talking loudly these days. Ron Tank, CNN Entertainment News, Las Vegas, Nevada.
How dare you!
So, like, you don't want my number or anything? Well, that's Showbiz for this week. Don't forget Showbiz Today, weekdays at 5:30 here on CNN. I'm Bill Tush, and we'll see you next week. And hey, thanks to everybody here at Rye. It's been a lot of fun. Jane?
Hello, I'm Bob Kane at CNN Center in Atlanta. Style with Elsa Clench is just ahead with a look ahead to fall fashions from Paris, Milan, and New York, including the lingerie-inspired outfits of Josie Notori. We'll also check our top stories right after this break.
Tonight on Larry King Weekend, the unsinkable Debbie Reynolds. We'll talk to Hollywood's favorite girl next door tonight, 9 Eastern on CNN.
Commuting traffic. There's only one thing to do.
One thing.
Leave your car home. Not every day. Just once a week will be a big help. Okay, that's the plan. Once a week, leave the car home and get to work some other way. Once a week, that's all, once a week. Or more if you want. Do the smart thing once a week. Leave it home.
Some people redefine the Olympic Games. Some people, like these, never even got a chance to go.
Now you'll get that chance on Sega Channel with the Aim for the Games contest. Just play THQ's Olympic Summer Games on Sega Channel, and you can win a trip to the 1996 Olympic Summer Games or one of over 100 other prizes. Olympic Summer Games. It's one of up to 50 world-class games you get every month on Sega Channel. Get hooked in.
Call TCI today and check out the Sega Channel Summer Special.
This is CNN.
Hello, I'm Bob Kane. Style with Elsa Clench is next. First, a look at this hour's top stories. Well, Bertha may not be a hurricane anymore, but as a tropical storm, it is still packing a soggy punch. It blew across Virginia and Maryland overnight, leaving flooded streets and downed power lines and trees in some areas. The director of the Federal Emergency Management Agency, due in North Carolina today. In fact, he's due about right now to assess damage there. Bertha is now near Dover, Delaware, and drifting up the east coast. Later today, it's expected to move over to New York City, bringing the possibility of as much as 6 inches of rain. In a CNN Live interview this morning, Virginia's Governor George Allen said about 50,000 homes are without power. But he pointed out that state officials were ready for Bertha.
I called the state of emergency actually several days before this storm hit. The meteorologists and the people who track these storms said we had a probability of this storm coming through Virginia. So we wanted to be prepared, get our emergency operations ready, deploy some of our state troopers to the area of the state, generally the Hampton Roads area, where this storm was likely to come through.
We will continue to bring you updates on Tropical Storm Bertha throughout the day. Authorities in Edmond, Oklahoma say a man was plotting to kill his ex-girlfriend with pipe bombs, but that instead he may have sparked a chemical fire in his motel room. An explosion and fire rocked the Red Carpet Motel last night. Police say they found 4 unexploded pipe bombs taped together in Kelly Spencer's room. He was treated at a local hospital and then taken off to jail. The room next to Spencer's was heavily damaged. About 20 other people were treated at the scene for possible chemical exposure. A 19-year-old man died today of injuries he suffered in the violence in Northern Ireland. He became the first fatality of a week of rioting. Catholics vented their anger early today over annual Protestant marches through their neighborhoods. They threw gasoline bombs and traded gunfire with police. A Protestant group called the Orange Order commemorates a 17th century victory over Catholics with marches every July. Earlier in the week, Protestants rioted when police tried to block one of their marches. Television news pioneer John Chancellor has died. Chancellor spent more than 40 years at NBC News before his retirement in 1993. On CNN's Larry King Live, retired CBS anchorman Walter Cronkite remembered Chancellor as a tough competitor, but always a gentleman. The president of NBC News called Chancellor one of journalism's great treasures. John Chancellor was treated for stomach cancer 2 years ago. He died yesterday at his home in Princeton, New Jersey. John Chancellor would have turned 69 tomorrow. I'm Bob Kane. Our next news summary at the top of the hour. Style with Elsa Clench, up next.
This is Style, and I'm Elsa Clench, reporting on the design worlds of fashion, beauty, and decorating. Today, the revolution in sunglasses. You'll be surprised by the way they've changed. Then a Long Island beach house with breathtaking ocean views, decorated by New York interior designer Joseph Kremer. But first, a collection from a designer who believes it's better to be true to himself than to follow trends. Leather is where Paris designer Claude Montana started his career 25 years ago. And for fall 96, it's leather again. Montana signed to do a new leather collection, and he incorporated it into his ready-to-wear show. Montana does his leather in all the colors of the collection. He uses it most effectively as ankle-length coats that he pairs with square-toed boots by Ombeline. As for his shapes, Montana does 90. And he says no two pieces are the same.
Because I think people are going into circle. You know, I cannot stand the 70s look anymore, and it's kind of stuff. I'm getting tired of it, so I think I went back to my roots, deep roots, and did what I felt like doing.
It's an inspiration from a medieval time?
Yeah.
In the shape?
In the fabric, in the shapes, but put it in a very modern way, over a jumpsuit and boots.
What are the colors?
The first group is like beigey, khaki, and then there are lots of colors.
Deep, rich colors?
Deep, rich colors. And we have a lot of leather, again, this season. because I'm introducing a line of couture leather.
Are you using plain leather, printed leather?
All kind of leathers, very different. A new shearling and python, crocodile, printed crocodile.
And what's the silhouette for the leather?
All kinds. You have boleros line, in shearling, you have little blouson worn over man pants. You have long shearling coats who could replace fur. So there's jumpsuit, motorcycle jumpsuits, which are worn over a wool sole. There's not one shape in the collection which is repeated. I mean, each piece is different.
Montana says this is a collection based on separates. The pieces in one color group can be mixed and matched with those in another.
This season, I tried to do that because I saw that, it's important that people can buy, I don't know, a yellow leather jacket with a purple pants of another group, or a camel cardigan to go with a beige flannel pair of pants.
And for evening, the same thing? You can mix the evening?
Absolutely. I mean, it's different in general from what I've been doing lately.
It's Claude Montana with his fall collection. Still ahead, the fall collection from Milan designer Alberta Ferretti. Ferretti has a flair for the romantic. And this season, she's flirting again. She does demure dresses in luxurious fabrics that she says are the most feminine she's done. See it all after this.
For everybody out there gifted with a photographic memory, I present the new 272-page Texas Travel Guide. Exciting, huh? Hope you enjoyed reading it.
Of course, if you don't have a photographic memory, we'll send you a free copy. Just call 1-800-8888-TEX.
When do you take your Pepsid AC? Well, you can take it before a meal to prevent heartburn, or take it like you would an antacid after the meal to relieve heartburn. Before or after, one tiny Pepsid AC can control acid all night so you can sleep. Nothing lasts longer. And no other acid controller relieves heartburn faster. Not Zantac 75, not Tagamet HB. Pepsid AC. Before or after, you can be heartburn-free with Pepsid AC.
Say, if you like cheese, but not the fat and cholesterol of cheese, please try my delicious Smart Beef fat-free slices. Serve them cold or grill them. Either way, they have a great cheddar taste. Smart Beef. 0 fat, 0 cholesterol, 0 lactose.
Hey, nice bowl of shredded wheat.
Yeah, I think so.
Well, you could eat total and get 100% of 11 vitamins and minerals. Try to get that from shredded wheat, and you'll have to add more than just milk.
Like what?
Well, you could try strawberries for vitamin C.
Oh, that sounds good.
Lima beans for iron. Eggs for some vitamin E.
You gotta be kidding.
Some peanuts for niacin. Or a nice piece of liver for some B6.
I'll try the total.
Whole grain total. One bowl, 100%. Hey, don't eat it just for me.
How many things can your child do with a pair of socks, a cardboard tube, a hat, and 2 spoons? When you watch Big Bag, the possibilities are limitless. So open the Big Bag and open your child's imagination. Big Bag will only be on Cartoon Network, so call your cable operator today.
Color has exploded on the world runways this summer, but not only in ready-to-wear. There's color in the shoes of Ombelin designer Maud DeMarco and Walter Steiger. There's color in handbags from the bright shades of Kate Spade to Miuccia Prada's sophisticated prints. And when it comes to jewelry, there's Leopoldo Poli's energetic enamels and Daniel Swarovski's colorful crystals. So it's no surprise that color has taken over sunglasses as well. In New York, designer Christian Ross says colorful sunglasses are a part of the return to the retro look.
It's a form of self-expression to show a colored frame.
Why big?
I think big shapes make a woman look more glamorous. We have been a bit influenced by old movies from the 1960s or 1970s, For example, 8.5 or La Dolce Vita.
What is the news in shape?
I think big eye sizes are important. Ovals, rounds, octagons, cat eyes.
What are the colors that are most important?
Blue, greens, orange, yellow, and red, I would say.
You believe the graphic shapes have a great future?
Yes. Living in New York the last couple of years, the bikers, the messenger look, has been an incredible inspiration to our work because they were the first to wear the wraparound style again.
In Tokyo at Masuda, it's the lens that take on the color, and the most important are cool shades of blue and amber. Clear finishes add an antique patina to the collection, while metal frames have intricate filigrees. For designer Robert Mark, color in sunglasses is a natural.
We're seeing a lot of bright mangoes, whites, and then we have some deeper colors too, wines and moss greens that are going to take us into fall.
Shine is also important this season.
Shine is very important, again, because of fashion and all of the techno fashion we're seeing. Shiny gold, shiny platinum. It's really wonderful, and with bright lenses, bright blues, bright greens.
What about shape? Is shape changing?
Shape is changing because we're seeing a lot of wraparound frames. Again, function, performance, and fashion. A little bit more of an upsweep. People are really having fun with their eyewear. You know, the modern man and woman, I think, recognizes that great eyeglasses give protection, comfort, and ultimately fashion.
That's a look at colorful sunglasses for summer. Now the collection from a designer who's in touch with a woman's inner feelings. A sense of romance that's defined for the 90s. That's the direction in the fall collection from Milan designer Alberta Ferretti. She uses luxurious fabrics for flirty, feminine dresses. Silks in velvet and chiffon stand out. Ferretti also does maxi coats in rich, rosy colors reminiscent of the 70s. And her details include collars and cuffs of plush faux fur.
La direzione nella personalità, cioè di ogni collezione. Ho cercato di fare una collezione al di sopra di quello che è il trend.
I guess I'd say that the personality is really what I'm trying to get across here. I'm trying to do a collection which is something different than the very, very trendy collections that are going around. And I'm trying to do, above all, an Alberta Ferretti collection. The direction, I'd say, is femininity, a little bit of romanticism, but very modern.
What are the shapes for day?
I'd say that for day, I'm doing both long and short. The fabrics alternate from more classic wools and basic daytime fabrics, and of course they're combined with chiffons and softer silhouettes. There's a little military influence in the coats. They're long and quite rigid, but always that touch of romanticism and femininity.
What fabrics have you done the dresses in?
I've worked quite a lot in jersey because I think it's a wonderful fabric that one can travel with, and it's particularly flattering on women. I've worked with chiffon, I've worked with brushed wool, and of course a lot of velvet this season.
Ferretti tells me her new jackets are cut on the bias and look almost like cardigans. She gives them small shoulders and slim, tight sleeves that slide into a narrow bell shape. When it comes to color, Ferretti uses soft jewel tones and accents them with lighter shades. Is leather important in the collection?
Sì, la pelle è molto presente nella collezione.
Yes, I've used, leather is quite important. I've used a stamped leather, a snakeskin stamp, but it's still a leather. And of course suede, which I always love. It's very soft, it flows easily. And the suede, of course, is featured here in brighter, more brilliant colors.
Now for evening, romantic evening.
Sì, la sera è romantica e per me è bellissima perché la cosa
Yes, my evening is very important and very romantic and beautiful. I really adore a romantic, feminine evening.
That's Alberta Ferretti with her fall collection. Still to come, the Long Island beach house decorated by New York interior designer Joseph Kremer. Kremer's clean, modern approach to this waterfront weekend home allows for easy maintenance and an all-round relaxing atmosphere. Meet Joseph Kremer and see his work when we continue.
Thank you. We'd also like to thank Northwest Airlines. They've taken us all around the world. Tonight they're taking us home.
We're all coming together
heading for the home ground, sharing all the feelings, everyone's family. Under one roof.
Northwest Airlines can take you as far away and bring you as close to home as any airline on Earth.
When do you take your Pepsid AC? Well, you can take it before a meal to prevent heartburn, or take it like you would an antacid after the meal to relieve heartburn. Before or after, one tiny Pepsid AC can control acid all night so you can sleep. Nothing lasts longer. And no other acid controller relieves heartburn faster. Not Zantac 75, not Tagamet HB. Pepsid AC. Before or after, you can be heartburn-free with Pepsid AC.
How fast do you think we could sell our home?
What if we find a great house before we sell ours?
These answers and more are here in Answers from ERA, your guide to buying and selling a home. Helpful tips, financial worksheets, it's all here. And it's free. When it comes to just the kind of help you'd expect from a friend, ERA wrote the book.
To get your free copy of Answers, call 1-800-928-7775.
Selling a house is no vacation, but that's just what the Walkers got when they sold their house with our ERA office. The ERA Seller Security Plan guaranteed that if we didn't sell their house, ERA would buy it. ERA even agreed to take the risk of selling the house at a loss, but when we sold it for more, the Walkers got the profit. They used the extra money to take a vacation. The ERA Seller Security Plan, just the kind of help you'd expect from a friend.
Call 1-800-928-7775. ERA, first in service.
This large, luxurious Long Island beach house has sweeping ocean views on 6 acres of property. To make it more intimate, New York interior designer Joseph Kremer created a harmony between the house and the grounds. He used sand-colored siding to blend with the beach and did landscaping, a golf hole, swimming pool and pavilion that lie close to the house.
It's meant for family and entertaining. It works in a very casual way at the times when the house needs to be casual. And at the times when other functions are happening, it then transforms itself into a very exciting house for evenings and parties as well.
To make the interiors more intimate, Kremer continued the natural color palette from outside. He started with the entrance.
It's not so much about color, but it's about a way to live and a way to relax. This is a second house, and it's about tranquility and peacefulness, being at the ocean.
Kremer says dividing the large living room into sections made it feel smaller. There's a wet bar and 3 different seating areas. He tells me he used oversized furniture to add to the illusion of a more intimate setting.
There's something very special about being in a room with overscale proportions and overscale furniture. And that's the challenge of working with large scale. And when it's worked successfully, it's a very exciting room.
That huge armoire must have been difficult to find.
Yes, it was so difficult to find, we made it. It's so large that is based on a classic Dutch cast, and it houses a very large rear projection television.
Kremer's clients are avid art collectors. Above the fireplace, he's placed a David Hockney painting.
I think it's interesting because here we have a real swimming pool behind us, yet here we have a wonderful scene. It's the hills outside Los Angeles is the subject matter there.
Kremer used fabrics to add touches of color throughout the room. He chose them for their informal feeling.
All the fabrics derive from the personality of the fabrics you'd see at the beach. To me, this is like the summer. It reminds me of the perfect beach chair.
He used a plaid fabric for the dining room.
The starting point for the dining room was to seat 12 in a very comfortable style. And again, it is a beach house, and we worked with the texture of the wood walls and also having as much glass in the room, again, getting enough texture to work with the glass that faced the ocean.
Who did the painting in the dining room?
The painting in the dining room is by Harriet Corman, and she was recently featured in the Whitney Biennial.
Upstairs is a master suite. It consists of a bedroom, large bath, and sitting room.
It's very nice to escape, close the doors. There's a fireplace there, a wonderful desk facing the ocean, and it's really a perfect place to escape.
Texture was the starting point for the bedroom.
And there was a fabric that the client had liked very much, which is the main fabric on the bed, and that was a starting point for the room. The walls are upholstered in a beautiful fabric, and that's a wonderful wool texture sisal rug on the floor.
The bedroom flows into the bathroom.
There's a great sunken whirlpool tub, a small exercise area, which everyone certainly must have in the Hamptons. It's important to be in shape.
You're happy about the house, and it works.
I often visit very wonderful houses, and I'm very surprised that people decorate them in a very formal way. Again, this is a second house, and it's about getting away from Manhattan. And to me, this is what the beach is all about.
That's interior designer Joseph Kremer. There's more ahead, including the fall collection from New York designer Josie Nattori. Nattori has built her reputation doing sexy lingerie looks. Now this season, she's exploring another side of fashion. Josie Nattori talks about it when we return.
To access CNN Interactive on the World Wide Web, call 1-800-WORLD-NET, extension CNN, for free internet software.
You will find her wherever there's a morning and a road. Distance champion Tiana Sodoma, training and competing all over the world. On her way to Atlanta and the race of a lifetime, on the strength of her own determination, and on the wings of Northwest Airlines, who can take you from wherever you call home to wherever on earth you chase your dreams.
Northwest has a network that will take me any place I need to go.
Some people just know how to fly.
IAMS understands that the simple act of petting a dog can make people healthier and happier. It's even been suggested that people who own dogs lead longer, fuller lives. Now, knowing what dogs do for you, wouldn't it be nice to do the same for them? You can, by feeding your dog IAMS every day. It's more nutritious because its quality ingredients are more digestible. IAMS dog food, good for life, from the IAMS Company.
I'm Lauren Sidney. Next week on Showbiz Today, Michael J. Fox likes to hear Booze and the Frighteners. Also, Michael Keaton and Michael Keaton and Michael Keaton and Michael Keaton in Multiplicity. Next week, 5:30 p.m. Eastern on CNN.
Lingerie dressing. That's how New York designer Josie Nattori describes her fall collection. She says these are sophisticated yet sexy clothes for women who are not afraid to show their femininity, even in the workplace. Nattori concentrates on workmanship and detail for outfits that can be worn day or night, at home or out on the town.
I felt that it's time to just show that today really how women want to dress, and I really think that's what Nattori is about. Annual wear, evening wear, all lingerie inspired. It's modern, it's feminine, and you decide where you want to wear it.
What are some of the fabrics that are most important? Velvet, lace?
We have a whole variety of fabrics, also just from really the satins and the crepes and laces, but also a lot of jerseys, very much, and we have also knitwear. I really believe in that. When you want to be comfortable at home or whatever you're doing, that I think knitwear and jerseys is really very modern today.
Is quilting important?
Very much so. I think the quilted is no longer just in the robes at home. Really, we have them in quilted tops, which is really outerwear, inner outerwear, and at the same time jackets. I really think it's that thing that you normally thought was for at home to cover you up. It's really you go out in it. It's a great jacket, a great accessory that you wear on top, and both for day and for night. And we have them in velvets. We have them in satins.
Is the bodysuit making a big return?
I believe that the bodysuit is here to stay. It's really still the thing that, you feel, it's the best thing that you can have inside a suit. And we show them in all kinds of forms, whether for day wear to wear with your suits or for evening wear. I really believe that it's the modern blouse.
So it's the basis of a wardrobe.
I believe it's the basis for the wardrobe, exactly. But the important part is that it's close to your body and it fits well and it molds to you and you can layer onto it.
Have you combined different fabrics in the bodysuits?
Yes, always we have sheer and lace. That to me is a basic. But we also have it in, I think the jerseys and the knitwear is basically the basis for this bodysuit that we have.
Josie, you're really concentrating on versatile clothes.
I think what we're showing is lingerie dressing from in the house to outside of the house, and it's up to you. It's from bedroom to the boardroom to ballroom.
That's Josie Nattori with her fall collection. That's Style for this week. Please stay tuned for all the news as CNN Weekend continues. Next week, I'll be back with exciting fall fashions. In Paris, the first from Antwerp's Anne de Meulemeester. She's using vivid color to accent black. High theatrics to showcase sophisticated fashion from London's Alexander McQueen. Long, lean knits and Asian accents for evening from New York designer Yo Lee. Until then, thank you for joining me with Style. I'm Elsa Clench.
Hello, not a slow news day in the weather department. Here's Dave Hennon with a look at what's going on outside. Dave.
Morning, Bob. Yeah, we have off the latest advisory from the National Hurricane Center as of 11 a.m. Eastern Time. The storm now moving very near Atlantic City, New Jersey. It is moving to the northeast at 24 miles per hour, and winds still pretty strong, 50 miles per hour. So these have not decreased since the last advisory. Here's what we expect as far as tropical storm warnings go. These have actually been lifted a little bit farther to the north now, just north of Atlantic City, back up through the Merrimack River, and by later on today, watch on our timeline as we take you now into late Sunday. The storm should track over Long Island this afternoon, out over the Cape by later on today, and then by late Sunday be in Nova Scotia. We'll bring you the very latest coming up in an hour. Bob?
All right, thanks, Dave. Our top stories are next, followed by Science and Technology Week. Here's a preview.
Some people will do almost anything for beauty, but cosmetic surgery on a fish? There are actually some good reasons to keep your fish looking fabulous. I'm Miles O'Brien, and that story is coming up on Science and Technology Week.
This is the place to turn for entertainment news live from New York and Hollywood. This is CNN.
Jose Carreras, Placido Domingo, Luciano Pavarotti. Experience the magic of the three tenors in their only live television performance of the year.
Saturday, July 20th on TCI pay-per-view. Order today.
Police in Oregon have a lot of class, and what they're learning in this classroom is so important, they just can't wait to put it into practice. You see, Oregon police now have the training and knowledge to spot drivers under the influence of any kind of drug, not just alcohol. And knowledge, as they say, is power. If you drink or use other drugs and get behind the wheel, the least you'll lose is your license.
Get this 35mm Kodak FunTime camera with flash free. There's absolutely no purchase necessary to get this Kodak camera free from the Craftmatic Adjustable Bed Company. Just preview our beds before you buy any bed.
I hate this bed. You look so miserable in that ordinary flat bed. You need an adjustable bed. Look, Craftmatic's affordable money-saving Model 2 and 3 beds adjust to all these comfortable positions, offer optional heat and massage, yet cost 50 to 75% less than many quality flat beds. 50 to 75% less. Call to get this free catalog by mail.
Call toll-free and we'll mail you a coupon for your free Kodak camera. Plus information on the adjustable beds that cost 50 to 75% less. To get your free camera coupon, call now.
Call toll-free 1-800-822-9800. That's 1-800-822-9800. Toll-free 1-800-822-9800.
96, today, 11:30 Eastern on CNN.
Hello, I'm Bob Kane. Science and Technology Week is just ahead. First, a look at this hour's top stories. New England states are, or in some cases will soon be being soaked by the remnants of Hurricane Bertha. The tropical storm is now dumping heavy rains on East Coast states from Maryland north all the way to Maine. The weather's clearing Ocean City and other beaches of tourists who would normally be soaking up the sun on a summer Saturday. Forecasters are watching for regional flash floods from Bertha's heavy clouds. Tropical storm warnings stretch this morning from the Delaware-Maryland border through northern Massachusetts. The head of the Federal Emergency Management Agency is visiting North Carolina, where Bertha came ashore yesterday. FEMA Director James Lee Witt is spending today touring and looking for hurricane damage and meeting with North Carolina's governor about relief plans. Evacuated residents are, in many cases, going back home to survey the damage in North and South Carolina, where gale-force winds tore off roofs, downed trees and power lines, and wrecked a lot of coastal vacations. President Clinton says the country is very close to what he calls a real breakthrough in welfare reform. In his weekly radio address, Mr. Clinton praised Republicans for dropping their demand to give the states control of Medicaid as part of welfare reform.
This week, the Republican leaders in Congress announced that they are ready to work with me to pass a straightforward welfare reform bill that I can sign into law. Instead of sending me legislation they know I'll veto. This can be a real breakthrough, a genuine turning point. We are very close to replacing a broken welfare system with one that requires work, offers opportunity, and demands responsibility.
Mr. Clinton says with hard bipartisan work, welfare reform could pass very soon. A CNN Time magazine poll done this past week shows 55% of registered voters surveyed approve of President Clinton's performance in the Oval Office. 34% disapprove. The president does well in another category, too, what it takes to be a good chief executive. 59% of those polled put him at the top of the list. When the same group was asked about Bob Dole, half said he has what it takes. 22% said Ross Perot has the makings of a good president. Southwest Airlines is marking its 25th anniversary, but it's the passengers who are celebrating. Yesterday, the No Frills airline announced $25 one-way airfares on many of its routes across the Midwest and the West Coast. Beginning July 23rd, you can buy those $25 tickets for travel between August 19th and October 31st. TWA and United were quick to match the ticket prices, $25 on many routes. I'm Bob Kane. New pictures of a giant moon near Jupiter are changing scientists' ideas about what's out there. Details next on Science and Technology Week.
Coming up on Science and Technology Week, a glacier in space. NASA provides the closest ever look at an icy moon orbiting Jupiter. Also, chopper control, a high-tech plan to keep the crowded skies safe over the Atlanta Olympics. And fashionable fish. Some tropical fish undergo surgery to make them look better. We'll tell you why. We'll submerge you in details on that and much more up next.
Science and Technology Week, brought to you by IBM.
Hello and welcome. I'm Miles O'Brien. NASA's Galileo spacecraft is giving scientists something they've never had before, close-ups of Jupiter's moon, Ganymede. And the pictures are upsetting a lot of theories about the big moon's icy landscape. Mark Bernheimer reports.
They are images of Jupiter's giant moon, Ganymede, sent back from the Galileo spacecraft.
These images are fantastic. We're seeing things that are 20 times better than we've ever been able to see on Ganymede before. In fact, we could recognize something as small or smaller than a football field if it happened to exist on the surface of Ganymede.
The pictures may not mean much to the untrained eye, but to scientists they reveal fascinating detail. Craters formed by the relentless pounding of comets and asteroids, and huge faults in the moon's icy surface suggesting volcanic and tectonic activity not unlike that on Earth. Scientists here at Jet Propulsion Laboratory were thrilled by the clarity of Galileo's pictures, but they were totally caught off guard by some other non-photographic data sent back by Galileo, evidence showing that Ganymede is unlike any moon they have ever studied. When Galileo passed within 500 miles of Ganymede, it began to pick up readings suggesting a magnetosphere or magnetic field. Magnetospheres are not uncommon surrounding planets, but have never before been detected around a moon.
What we think we've found here is, in effect, a baby magnetosphere inside Jupiter's own magnetosphere, and the most logical way to produce that is that Ganymede also has a magnetic field attached to it, which is surprising.
And the surprises will keep coming. Scientists expect more data from Galileo in the months ahead, many times more detailed than what amazed them this week. Mark Bernheimer, CNN, Pasadena, California.
Those images were taken last month when Galileo flew close to Ganymede's surface. That was the first of 4 flybys of Jupiter and its major moons planned for the next 2 years. Scientists looking for planets outside our solar system have a new way to do it. It's based on the fact that when light coming from a distant star passes close to a planet, the light gets a little brighter. Don Knapp explains.
Scientists, unable to actually see dark planets beyond our solar system, have come up with a few tricks of physics to find them. Researchers at Lawrence Livermore National Laboratory build on an earlier idea. Gravitational fields surrounding planets, moons, and stars magnify light passing through them.
And an object with mass passes between us and that distant star. When they line up, the gravitational magnifying lens effect causes the background star to appear brighter.
That may explain what happened with this star 160,000 light years away.
It's a very faint object, and in particular, it's much fainter than these neighbors. Then over the passage of time, we're talking about weeks here, it got steadily brighter until in this image here, you can see that this star is now brighter than its 2 neighbors.
Researchers working with Charles Alcock charted the star's increasing light, then predicted an even greater burst of light would reveal a planet.
They asked the question, what happened if this dark object had a very much less massive object in orbit around it, much in the same way that the Earth is in orbit around the Sun? And they've calculated to show that it would cause a brief modification of the brightness of the star that might last only a few hours.
Meanwhile, 2 other scientists plow ahead with a light measuring technique that turned up 6 new planets in the past year.
The planet pulls on the star and makes the star wobble around due to the gravitational pull. So we monitor something called the Doppler effect of the star's light.
Jeff Marcy and partner Paul Butler's discovery prompted NASA to consider a massive project to map new planets and eventually photograph them with space telescopes.
So what's going on is a sudden burst of interest in a problem that has been around for hundreds of years, but we now finally have the ability to look for planets.
Now there's scientific competition to find new worlds.
The first step towards finding life is finding planets like the planet Earth in orbit around stars like the Sun, our own Sun. So if we find those systems, that will intensify the speculation that there's life out there.
The Livermore researchers say a worldwide network of telescopes might find 3 to 6 Earth-sized planets a year. And this week, Marcy and Butler begin a new search to determine what percentage of the stars in the universe have planets. They say they have a feeling most do. Don Knapp, CNN, Berkeley, California.
The Lawrence Livermore scientists are trying to involve telescopes all over the world in their project. Since the brightening effect they're watching for lasts for just a few hours, they need observers in all time zones so they don't miss anything. It's time for us to take a break. Then we'll find out about plans to keep helicopter traffic from getting snarled over the Olympics. And a little later in the show, so-called smart weapons made a big hit during the Gulf War. But are they really all that smart? We'll find out what a new report says. Stay with us.
Looks like you've been grinding a bit, Michael.
I kind of
That's great.
All right. I gotta make
You know, at the Olympics, IBM has technologies from 10 different companies working together. They might be able to help you. Good. Now rinse.
Log on to CNN Interactive for the latest news, direct from the CNN newsroom. Rated #1 among all basic cable websites. With business from CNN FM, the new financial network from CNN. Sports scores and highlights from Nick and Fred. Fashion and interior design with Elsa. Entertainment news from Lauren and Jim. The whole world of CNN on the World Wide Web. We're here 24 hours a day at CNN.com.
Imagine a news network that covers sports, the way Sports Illustrated covers sports. And it covered the world of sports like CNN covered the world. Introducing CNN-SI, around-the-clock coverage of sports news from around the world. 24 hours a day, CNN-SI will take viewers to where sports news is happening. Utilizing the vast resources of CNN and Sports Illustrated, the world's premier sports publication. Together, CNN-SI will offer viewers the most immediate and comprehensive sports news coverage available. CNN-SI will call upon the finest team of print and broadcast journalists, editors, and sports analysts ever assembled, capturing all the drama and all of the spectacle of sport, the personalities and the controversies, the big wins and the heartbreaking defeats. No matter where sports is making news, CNN-SI will be there. Call your cable or satellite company and ask them about CNN-SI.
With the Olympics coming to town, traffic is expected to be a nightmare on Atlanta's roads. But in the sky, the outlook is a little brighter, thanks to a high-tech plan designed to keep helicopter traffic organized during the Olympics and beyond. Steve Nettleton explains.
With the Olympics just days away, it seems the whole world is flocking to Atlanta. And from the looks of the traffic, the whole world will be on Atlanta's streets. But some Atlanta companies plan to rise above Olympic gridlock with a fleet of specially equipped helicopters. Their mission? To deliver packages, police, and VIPs to 12 helipads throughout the city.
All of the package delivery industry, as well as some of the surface transportation companies, integrating this system will bring a much more responsive transportation system on a regional basis.
As many as 50 helicopters will maintain a designated flight pattern over Atlanta's expressways. Sounds simple, but just as the roads are growing crowded, so too are the skies over the Olympic city.
Ultimate airspace nightmare would probably be a mid-air collision.
Air traffic control radar usually doesn't detect helicopters over a city's densely packed skyline.
It doesn't come down low enough, and if it can, there's ground clutter in the way, and the system just doesn't lend itself to a low-altitude transportation system.
The FAA has linked up with Georgia Tech and a consortium of area businesses. They're turning to satellites to avoid an airspace nightmare. Researchers are fitting prototype helicopters with antennas that link the choppers to a series of navigation satellites called the Global Positioning System. The satellites pinpoint the aircraft's location and pass those coordinates back to the chopper pilot.
During the Olympics, we'll have that kind of capability to be able to describe to a controller on the ground what is going on in the aircraft as far as the position goes.
The chopper radios its location coordinates to a computer on the ground. The computer responds by informing the chopper of nearby aircraft and obstacles. All the information appears in real time on a small monitor in the cockpit.
All right, these small red obstacles that you see on the screen, those are all towers and discrepancies that are out there that we could bump into.
The system's inventors see Atlanta's Olympic chopper glut as a trial run for the future, when helicopters will routinely play large roles in everything from package delivery to public transportation. So while the rest of the world eyes the performances on the ground in Atlanta, some researchers will be looking up, closely watching the performance of this highway in the sky. Steve Nettleton, CNN reporting.
Tomorrow Today appears on CNN's Future Watch and Science and Technology Week. Brought to you by IBM, solutions for a small planet.
Looks like you've been grinding a bit, Michael.
I kind of
That's great.
All right. I gotta make it work for ours.
You know, at the Olympics, IBM has technologies from 10 different companies working together. They might be able to help you. Good. Now rinse.
Ain't Harry?
This is the place to turn for complete coverage of live breaking news wherever it occurs.
This is the place for lively debate.
From the right and the left. This is the place where you can speak out and your voice will be heard.
This is the place to turn for television's most reliable coverage of business and financial news.
This is the place for lively conversation with top newsmakers and celebrities and your phone calls.
This is the place to turn for the most complete view of the events shaping your world today.
This is the place to turn for interviews,
Conversation,
both sides of the issues,
fashion and design, entertainment news,
the world of sports.
Business and financial news.
This is CNN.
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 Sunday on CNN Presents. This summer, the world is coming to Atlanta, but along with the Olympians comes the threat of terrorism.
The risk of terrorism is probably higher than it ever has been.
A risk that requires special Olympic training.
We are practicing for situations we hope never occur.
The Olympics will have the largest security force in history, but will it be enough? The challenge of guarding the games on the next CNN Presents, Sunday, 9 Eastern.
It's been almost 2 years now since an American Eagle commuter plane crashed in Indiana, killing 68 people. This week, safety investigators released a report on the causes of that crash, and John Holloman has our story.
Roselawn, Indiana, October 31st, 1994. A twin-engine American Eagle ATR propeller plane spins into the ground, killing all 68 aboard. The National Transportation Safety Board says the plane crashed because ice built up on the back of the wings, causing the plane to roll wing over wing. A former ATR pilot explains what must have happened in the cockpit.
Immediately, they would have grabbed for the control yoke and attempted to return it to the neutral position, attempt to right the aircraft. It was still very hard to watch the video animation because to feel what a pilot may have been going through at that point, the total lack of control, the feeling of helplessness, the feeling that you are the one that is in charge of this thing. You are the one that is either going to save this or not save this aircraft.
The safety board blames the ATR's French manufacturer and the French Aviation Authority for failing to tell airlines and crews using the planes that freezing precipitation could cause them to spin out of control and crash. And it blames the FAA in the United States for failing to take enough action after 5 previous incidents where ATR planes snapped into a wing roll.
There's a loss of confidence in the country in regard to aviation safety. And that's something that we at the Safety Board, the individuals at the FAA, and all the manufacturers and airlines should be concerned about and act upon.
The French manufacturer says it did nothing wrong and did warn airlines and crews about the icing problems. The FAA says it's working to solve those problems now. Safety Board officials say the FAA seems to always react to plane crashes with too little action, taken much too late. John Holloman, CNN, Washington.
There's also a report this week on the crash last spring of an experimental unpiloted plane. The Dark Star reconnaissance plane crashed at Edwards Air Force Base, California in April on its second test flight. This week, the Pentagon blamed the crash on changes in software and takeoff techniques. The changes had been made based on analysis of the first test, but apparently didn't achieve the desired result. The goal of the Dark Star program is to develop a fleet of all-weather, long-range reconnaissance drones. The government's General Accounting Office has been taking a long, hard look at the highest of high-tech weapons used in the Gulf War. In a report out this week, the office raises questions about whether extensive use of so-called smart weapons is really all that smart. G. Meserve reports.
It's gone. The lights are on.
The whiz-bang weaponry of the Gulf War made for boffo pictures and, the public was told, spectacular success. But a detailed analysis by the General Accounting Office concludes many claims by the Department of Defense and defense contractors about so-called smart weapons were overstated, misleading, inconsistent with the best available data, or unverifiable.
DOD has never met a weapon system that it didn't like. They never met a weapon system they thought would cost too much. They never met a Mickey Mouse weapon system that they didn't feel they could control and make into something useful.
The report took a look at the performance of the high-priced stealth fighter and found it had a bombing run success rate 1/2 that claimed by the Pentagon. The report also calls into question the cost of guided weapon systems. Remember so-called smart bombs? The GAO says they accounted for only 8% of the tonnage dropped on Iraq, but represented 84% of the total munitions cost of the war. The official Pentagon response does not dispute the report's conclusions, but an Air Force general says numbers do not tell the whole smart weapons story.
They allow us to hit very difficult targets with minimum collateral damage, and it allows us to minimize civilian casualties and keeps our pilots alive.
But expect this report to figure in future defense budget debates.
It basically points out that we're spending too much money on the wrong type of weapons systems and that they're not going to give what we're asking for.
The Department of Defense is spending $58 billion on guided weapons system, but this report raises the question, is the smart money on smart weapons? Jean Meserve, CNN, Washington.
After we take a break, why would anybody bother to get an artificial eye implanted in a fish? There are actually some good economic reasons. We'll find out what they are when we come back. If you have access to the World Wide Web, check out our homepage at CNN.com. If you're not on the web but would like to be, you can call 1-800-WORLDNET, extension CNN, for free internet software. Stay with us.
Looks like you've been grinding a bit, Michael.
It's kind of
That's great.
all right. I gotta
You know, at the Olympics, IBM has technologies from 10 different companies working together. They might be able to help you. Good. Now rinse.
News travels fast. This just into headline news. What happens there can be seen here, now. That's why people everywhere turn to headline news. For continuously updated news, business, sports, and entertainment, staying in touch with the world has never been easier. Because it doesn't matter what hour of the day it is, the time for headline news is always now. Headline News, a CNN network.
They gave you hope. They let you dream. They made you cheer. This June and July, see what really moves them. Our favorite movies hosted by your favorite Olympians. Dive into the deep with Mark Spitz.
I'm sort of afraid of fish. They just give me the willies.
Hey, Pilgrim.
Thursday nights this summer. See heroic movies we all love. Hosted by the heroes that love them too.
It's going to really rock this world.
Watch our favorite movies Thursday nights on TNT.
Today, there's a lineup of business and financial programs waiting for you. Your Money offers guidance and timely information for the investor and consumer. CNN Computer Connection is for anyone wishing to log on to the future. Money Week with Lou Dobbs is your complete review of the week in finance. And Inside Business and Managing provide advice for the professional manager. All from the people who cover your world. CNN.
Animal researchers are hard at work putting fake eyes in fish. Why, you ask, would a fish need a fake eye? Well, blame it on humans who don't like the look of a one-eyed fish. That can be a big economic incentive to the people who operate aquariums. Ann Kellen explains.
Whether a fish lives in a large public aquarium or a small private one, life in a tank filled with obstacles can be risky on its eyes. Fish have no eyelids, making them more prone to injuries and disease. And a prized aquarium fish, even if it's worth thousands of dollars, has a lot at stake if it loses an eye. It appears people don't like to look at fish with one eye.
They call that fish exhibit dead, meaning that they're not able to show it to the public anymore. And some of these very expensive and rare fish have to be put to sleep, essentially euthanized, because they can't show them, and it's very expensive to keep them when they're not on display.
This is Sunshine, a sunshine peacock fish. Sunshine lost an eye to a bacterial infection. His owners saw other fish in his aquarium bothering his prized fish.
And I hated when he got lost his eye because it was just, they're known for having large eyes. And a lot of the other fish were picking on it, you know, and agitating it. Out of all the fish I have, of about 28, he's probably my second favorite fish.
Marshall brought Sunshine to animal eye experts at North Carolina State University. They will replace Sunshine's bad eye with a fake one.
Just going to go ahead and place the fish in the anesthetic bucket, induce the anesthesia, and then we'll get started.
Sunshine is a guinea pig of sorts, the first of its species to have this surgery, so it's risky at best. The knockout drug in the bucket puts Sunshine to sleep. During the surgery, water runs over its gills, and Sunshine is hooked up to a machine supplying a steady stream of anesthesia.
Every fish is different. There are a tremendous number of species of fish out there, and to do anesthesia on each species is a little bit different.
This procedure will last about a half hour. When they're comfortable that the fish is fully anesthetized, they will fit the fish with one of 3 artificial eyes. The eyes are plastic from a taxidermy shop.
Let's go ahead and measure that. I think that's about his size.
Once the eye socket is cleaned, 2 tiny stitches are sewn in the back of the socket to hold the glue in place. The socket is filled with a special glue. Then the eye is inserted.
We'll just trim this up to make it look real pretty.
Once the surgery is over, Sunshine goes back in the tank and gradually wakes up.
Swim upside down for a little while as he's recovering from the anesthesia, but after that he should do just fine.
It's great. I bet he's hungry.
Well, it'll be at least a week or so before things get back to normal.
Okay. I'm sure he's been through a lot. He looks great, though.
Whether other fish will stop picking on Sunshine is questionable. Researchers think discerning fish will know it's a fake eye. So putting fake eyes in fish is basically cosmetic, designed to fool people. If this surgery keeps one-eyed fish in aquarium exhibits, it saves fish and reduces the need to capture others to replace them.
Until people are comfortable looking at one-eyed fish, then this is a worthwhile surgery to do.
Some sad news, though. Sunshine died a week after surgery. Researchers say the fish had trouble adjusting to its fake eye, but they can't say why. They did have success inserting fake eyes in experimental striped bass. And since the surgery is still experimental, they say every time they perform the procedure, it will improve the odds for other fish that lose an eye. Ann Kellen, CNN, Raleigh, North Carolina.
Sunshine the fish may have gone to swim in that big aquarium in the sky, but elsewhere, animal lovers are celebrating the miracle of birth. A zoo in northwestern India welcomed 2 baby tiger cubs, male and female twins. Their arrival gives a boost to efforts to breed the endangered species in captivity. According to the most recent count, the number of wild tigers in India dropped 20% in just 5 years. Weighing in at about 2.5 pounds each, the babies are said to be in good health, along with their mother, Radha. Thanks for joining us. I'm Miles O'Brien. Next week, what does it take to be an Olympic-caliber athlete? Sometimes the athletes themselves don't know, but a high-tech sports lab is helping them understand their own bodies better. A world-class workout on the next edition of Science and Technology Week. We'll see you then.
On here. Closed captioning was provided by Bell Atlantic, the heart of communication.
Hi, everybody. I'm Bob Lorenz at CNN Center in Atlanta. Coming up next on Baseball 96, a surprise retirement by one of baseball's most loved players. We'll hear from Kirby Puckett on suddenly calling it quits. Also, when will Tommy Lasorda return to the Dodgers bench? Or will he? We'll have the latest. Those stories plus how Frank Thomas's injury affects the White Sox. And you'll get to know Seattle's young star at shortstop, Alex Rodriguez. Join Tim Kirchin and me next on Baseball 96.
This is the place for complete coverage of live breaking news wherever it occurs. This is CNN.